Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment inquiry.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
Afro-American unity sees the only hope for the black man in America in a strong Africa, and the necessity of the Afro-American becoming inseparably linked with the overall program that's existing on the African continent. The two problems must be solved together, and the two forces must go forward together. And so the Organization of Afro-American Unity has a program to link the Afro-Americans with the Africans and the Africans with the Afro-Americans. When I say Afro-Americans, I mean those throughout the entire Western Hemisphere. This is our only hope. Our hope is in a strong Africa. And when Africa is strong, our position in America will be one of respect. But if Africa is weak, we will never be in a position of respect in America. They used to have a saying that one doesn't have a Chinaman's chance. But they don't say that anymore. They used that expression back when China was weak. But now since Mao Zedong has been successful in making China a strong country, the Chinese have more chance than anybody else. So this saying has become outdated. Well, just as it took a strong China to give a Chinese person respect wherever that Chinese person is found on this earth, when we get a strong Africa, the person of African origin or African ancestry will be respected any place on this earth, even in America. But he will not be respected in America until Africa is strong, just as the Chinaman wasn't respected abroad until China became strong.
He was the leader who knew that.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Greetings. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Kamal.
I'm
Enzo.
skeptic. Sorry.
And we have a special guest tonight. Casso's back in the building. Welcome, Casso. I'm so glad you were able to come.
Appreciate it, Nora. Hopefully we can have a conversation this time and not a shout match. But appreciate it, Nora.
I'm going to tell you, we are going to have a good conversation. This is our normal team. And I will say, moving forward, if I am ever to have such a heated discussion, we're going to stick to our format. So how we do it here, Casso, is we play a clip and we give a reaction. And then we all go around taking turns. So we're going to start with like a non-FBA topic. The first is, well, it could be about it, but it's immigration. Donald Trump has recently walked back on immigration, and I'm going to play the clip and then we can give a reaction to it. Everyone watching, if you could do me a favor and hit the like button, thank you so much for supporting and watching.
Pass back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead.
No, okay.
So crazy. It seems like Trump is backtracking. They need the workers on the farms. They need the hotel people to clean the hotels. I'm gonna let the FBA on the call go first. Kamal, what's your thoughts on President Trump changing his position now on immigration?
First of all, what's up, Casso? I hope you living good, bro. Second, what the hell Donald Trump talking about? Like, you get a bad back and you die? I don't know, bro. We know Joe Biden see now, but we got to check for Trump now, too, because bro talking out his ass. And let me be real with y'all. They already wasn't doing shit for black farmers. I'm telling y'all right now, that was one of my first episodes on my show, The Series Glare. I talked about the black farmers and how they getting fucked over and not getting the resources and funding that they deserve. You feel me? But second of all, I'm used to this from Donald Trump. Bro be double talking like a mug. As long as he entertained, I'm just like, all right, you feel me? But the double talk, I mean, that's just bro at this point. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Enzo, you gotta hold it down. Why is your president backtracking?
I mean, I'm pretty fucking mad that he's doing that. That annoys the shit out of me. Why are you gonna do that? Because one thing that I say all the time in my lives is I don't like that we have illegal migrants working in these farms for far less than what Americans will work for. Why are we going to send them back to let them come here legally and then expect these farm owners to pay them what they should be paid for, that they should be paid? They're not going to pay them. They'll find somebody else. They'll bring in other illegal migrants to do it. I mean, yeah, good. Get them citizenship. Come here the correct way. Cool. But Donald Trump's statement on this, I think, is ridiculous. Like, you want to tackle immigration? Why are we going to reward bad behavior? They came here illegally. You're deporting them and you're letting them come back here. It's stupid. So,
Skeptic, I'm sure you're doing a victory lap. I mean,
I can tell you why
you
he's
said-
doing this, though. I can tell you why. Because number one, he had no actual plan. He had no solution for the immigration issue. This is what I've been saying over and over. There is no solution. The last time that a policy was passed was IRA. This was in 1996. And that's when we saw an influx in undocumented immigrants stay here in America. Before we had these, penalties for people that cross the border, which is not a criminal offense, people were just coming, working, and leaving. Now we are holding these people here. They don't even want to be here. So also his numbers in deportation are not that good. It's the fact that he's putting fear into people and people are not going out and working. It's not really that he wanted to deport people. It's that he like talked and he said things and then he has to act on it. And he's talking this big game. And now immigrants are scared to go out. So they're just staying home. So we're seeing the economy have a negative effect on it. We're seeing jobs being lost. And we already had a labor shortage, which, you know, conservatives were saying were not real. Like, we don't really have a labor shortage. Well, guess what? It turns out that we did, and we do. So we're seeing the economic, you know, backlash from this. And so he has to go back on it because it's just the logical thing to do. Like, it just makes sense. Everything that they're doing is like propaganda, and none of it actually had an actual plan behind it. And now it's the moment of truth. And yes, he's going to go back on it.
Casso, someone in the chat said it's not a good thing he made a mistake and he was open to correcting it. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll say this. In terms of his statement, I think it's important for people of color to pay attention to that statement. Before the previous election, division was sold amongst the Black and brown communities because the conservative ideology here in America were able to convince Black people that brown people were intruding on a space that belonged to us. They convinced them that they were coming for Black jobs. They convinced them that they were taking government benefits, if that's the way I can use it, taking government benefits from Black people, or preventing us from moving towards what we're rightfully owed. Now it's important for Black people to stand up and understand the brown people were removed or are being removed from the jobs that have been provided to them here in America. And nobody Black has jumped up to take those jobs. Nobody white has jumped up to take those jobs. I don't think qualified Black women in America are thinking about working hospitality jobs. I don't think Black men in America feel a way about the construction workers or agricultural workers that are brown here in America and have been removed from the country. So I think it's what's most important for us in this country, people of color, to pay attention to, is that they try to sow division between our two communities with certain statements. And if not anything, this should show us that whatever rhetoric has been out there, that the brown people are taking resources and jobs from Black people, this should show us that they're not. Because one thing about us, we're not lining up to get back out in the fields and work underneath the scorching sun here in America.
That's Pastor. I can't disagree with anything you said. So I'll be real with you. But we were supposed to have Mr. Andre Williams. Andre, where you at? I don't know where he's at. Maybe he didn't want that smoke from Castle and Kamal. I don't know. I don't know what happened to bro. But we have a clip for him tonight. I labeled him the Black conservative, but he had this to say about Black conservatives, and we can react to it.
I'm a Black man who happens to be conservative. I'm a Republican who happens to be Black.
Actually, hold on, guys. I got
a lot of these Black conservatives are not serious about change whatsoever. I'm a Black man who happens to be conservative. I'm a Republican who happens to be Black. My identity does not revolve around being conservative. It revolves around the ideas and the beliefs that I hold as an individual. Many of the people you see calling themselves Black conservatives are only that because it's trending. It's not because they have conservative values or the environment in which they grew up made them conservative. I grew up in Detroit. My environment made me conservative. I grew up in a conservative household here in Detroit, a Democratic stronghold. Most of these other people are suburban Black kids that got bullied as Black liberals and became conservative because of that. They are no different than the Black liberals they criticize. And they only exist to criticize Black liberals, nothing more. They don't live in the hood. They don't try to connect with it or try to make it better. They sit far away, just like the Black liberals they hate, and criticize it from there. None of these people want change. They just want to say that they're different and get paid for being different. That's it. So as I said before.
So Casso, based on what he said, do you think there is a difference with him being a Black Republican and a Black conservative, or are they all in the same?
Well, he stumbled into my TikTok live space, and he and I had a colorful conversation. I think they're all one and the same on the right now. I think the Republican Party, our grandparents' Republican Party, was fused with a hateful party here in America, the MAGA movement, and it overtook our grandparents' Republican Party here in America. I think the everyone who has aligned themselves with the right and with conservative ideology here in America has strong hate for another community of people or a separate community of people here in this country, whether it's the black people that are anti-brown, the brown people who are anti-black, or the white people in the conservative party who seem to hate everybody here in America. They're all they've all united under one ideology, and that ideology is who can you hate and how can we enforce our hatred on these groups of people through the Republican Party.
So
Oh,
maybe he
man.
would. Now we know why he didn't come. Maybe the conversation on
Well,
TikTok he knew.
You think he knew Casso was coming? We didn't
Yeah.
promote Casso.
Hmm.
When did you have this conversation with him, Casso? Did you say I'm about to be on with you Thursday night?
No, I didn't.
You scared him off.
Skeptic let me know. I popped in because Skeptic invited me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Wait, but he showed up to your live, right, Casa?
He did.
That's
He did.
crazy.
When
Isn't
was
crazy?
that though?
Yeah, what was this is
I didn't know
important,
that.
Casso.
Well, I mean, I was kind of rude. Well, I'm always rude on my live. If y'all follow me, y'all know. I just told him straight up, and we're talking about the guy from the clip, right? That
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that was who was supposed to come. He came on
He's
our show
supposed to
before.
come tonight.
Right. Well, in so many words, I told him he was anti-black because he's an ugly black dude, and he has a hard time dealing with that. I told him that his white wife thinks that he's a catch.
His wife
but he's
is
not-
white?
Yeah, but his wife thinks that he's a catch, but he's not the
Sarah-
main
no,
catch.
I think his wife is black,
Yeah.
Casso.
If that's
Wait,
the guy,
I think that's Joel. I think that's
I'm talking
Joel.
about Joel. I'm talking
Okay,
about
no,
Joel.
no. This is
Oh
another
yeah.
one.
That didn't go well between me and Joel. Yeah.
Okay, no,
The
this
other
is a
guy, I
different
don't know.
guy.
I don't really know who y'all talking about. The other guy.
Okay, you're not talking about
Yeah.
the same person.
Yeah, it was gonna get crazy if I had to explain what I told Joel. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, all right. Well, he didn't come, so we're gonna move on to the next topics. I'll let more people react to the next clip. We're gonna get into the topics now. He didn't come, nevertheless. Well, I don't know if you guys saw, but there's been a big push for a boycott. I'm gonna play the clip and I'll have Kamal react first.
I will not be a part of your stupid ass boycott. And y'all sound stupid as fuck. But if you want to boycott these bullshit ass beauty supplies that be fucking us over and treat us like shit, and we the only people that shop there, I'm all the fuck in. Or if you want to boycott white tees businesses, since most of these businesses exist because of our ancestors, I'm all down. But the Africans, it's a hard fucking no. And shame on all you colored people for allowing white tea to get your panties in the bunch and try to make us enemies. We have enough fucking problems with these goddamn white tees. We don't need no fucking problems with people who look just like us, stupid. And then half of y'all don't even fucking shop at the African shops anyway. So now you really look stupid. Monkey fucking see, monkey fucking do. Boycotting the African shop. Y'all sound so fucking dumb. I hate y'all sometimes. Y'all don't never think about rallying when it comes to any other race of people hurting us. I don't care if you African, if you black from America, if you black from China, if you black from any motherfucking place. If you black, you black. Dummy, race don't mean nothing when you're fucking black. Y'all just goofies at this point. Always trying to put us against each other. My goodness, y'all some silly ass race of people. As racist as it is on this app, y'all don't never boycott this fucking app. You have your happy ass on here dancing like a motherfucker.
All right, Kamal. Tell us about the boycott. Do you support it? What's the reasons to support it?
I'm gonna be honest, I ignored that shit. Like I said, bro, it's a lineage, man. Some people smart, some people dumb as fuck. I was just like, okay, boycott. They boycotting Target, they boycotting goddamn Walmart. Everybody boycotting something. Somebody offended by something. That shit happen all the time. You feel me? So, hey, if they want to boycott the shit, let it be. You feel me? Long as nobody get harmed. That's how I feel. And hold on. Who in the chat? Hampton? You better shut your silly ass up talking about tethers. I ain't no damn tether. You better get the F out of here with that bull jive.
I think. Oh yeah, there. Yeah, Hampton's talking about us.
Yeah, Hampton could go eat a dick right now. You better shut his damn mouth. God damn. But yeah, that's how I felt about the boycott or whatever. It's just some things. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Even when it comes to my foundational Black Americans in certain conversations, I just ignore the shit because it's other pressing matters that's more important to me. You know what I mean? One being us getting cash reparations. Two is us getting the anti-Black hate crime bill. I'm worried about that shit. You feel me? And that shit, I ain't gonna lie, the boycott, the African braiders and stuff like that, that felt like women business. I ain't gonna lie. That felt like Black women business. I'm like, I don't go that shit anyway. Like, so that's just how I feel about the boycott and shit. So, hey, what can I say?
I'm gonna play the next layer. I'm gonna have Skeptic and Enzo only answer because it's not particularly for this, but I'm gonna have Casso answer now. Casso, what's your thoughts on the boycotting? Do you think it was working? Do you think it was beneficial? Like, what do you think about it?
I think it's unnecessary. I mean, if we Black people in this country and FBA folks, my family from the Mississippi Delta on both sides of my family, so y'all can say the teller talk. I don't believe in most of what it is that FBA believe in. I don't believe in the divisive rhetoric. I want to put that out there. But if we are going to boycott any group of people in this country as it pertains to hair care products, it should be Asian Americans. They have benefited from Black struggle, and they've also benefited from having close proximity to whiteness here in this country. The Asian American community ciphers tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars from the Black community every year, and they don't give shit back to Black communities. They don't do back to school drives. They never came out and marched with Black people in this country. They've never did anything to show any sort of gratitude to the quality of life they've been able to build in this country on the backs of the Black community directly. Now, Asian Americans also benefited from the Black plight in terms of them being able to use affirmative actions to send their children to higher institutions of learning in this country. Asian Americans fly under the radar of white supremacy because they are white passing here in this country, and they benefit from the bullshit. I think it's important now for us to ask, where are the others inside in terms of going outside and protesting? The brown people say, hey, where's everybody else? That doesn't mean they're talking about us, the Black people. There are other groups of people in this country who have migrated to this country, and they should be outside marching if due process is on the line. The Asian Americans should have their ass outside marching. The Arab Americans should be outside marching. The folks from Iran should be outside marching. And I believe that even African immigrants should be outside marching because they have something to lose and they're not putting their head in this fight as they should. So no, I don't think Black people should be trying to protest African braid shops.
So,
I think they should be
Casso,
protesting these Asian American beauty supply stores.
what do you think is the biggest plight of the Black community then? Because you said the fight. So what's the fight? Huh?
The community, you mean the Black community as in here in America or throughout the diaspora?
Let's talk about America. Let's stick to that.
Our plight is us not voting in a way that benefits or bolsters our voting block. We're not at full potential in terms of us voting. That's why I think it's important for us to build a bridge with brown America so we can bring about some of the political change that we need for our community. I don't think we vote enough within our own demographic to be able to bring about the change that we need. So I think we have to build a bridge with another community. And why not brown America? They're under attack in terms of white supremacy right now, and they will be they'll be motivated to vote alongside Black people here in the country.
Hey, Castle,
sorry, go ahead, Kamal.
Castle, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
You said that other groups need to be out there marching, but has there been a time that they have actually went out there to march for injustices? Talk about like the Asian Americans and stuff like that.
They popped out in 1 and 2s, and I'll say this: I'm somewhere in the middle when it comes to FBA, Kamal. So I don't want y'all to get me confused. I'm not entirely against FBA. The divisive rhetoric amongst Black people across the diaspora, I don't agree with that. But in terms of what Black people have been able to accomplish, Black people from the United States of America, I have to acknowledge that, and we have to shine a different type of light on that. We have to be clear about something, man. All civil rights in this country, regardless of where you came from, our grandparents fought for it. Black Americans from the United States of America, in large part, we got out there and put our bodies on the line. Now, there are Black people from other parts of the diaspora who contributed to the fight. But if we're going to give credit to one group of people for the fight for civil rights here in America, it has to be Black Americans here from the United States of America.
Yeah, and see, Castle,
Wow.
the thing about it, bruh, that's
Mhm.
why I say, and other foundational Black Americans say, it's a lineage. When it comes to a lineage, you have
Mm.
other people that either gonna have sense or don't have sense. You got Chinese people, it's a lineage. You got some that got sense. Some of them niggas part of the Yakuzas. You feel me? Or that Japanese. I think it's Japanese. But the thing about it is that when you say that like FBA is like a group in a certain rhetoric is being pushed, it's kind of saying that a lineage is pushing a certain rhetoric, and that's what I try to teach and try to stir away from us being labeled as like a group when it's really a lineage. And I try to tell people all the time, a lineage has all sorts of different types of people, and either people got sense and geniuses, and then you got some dumbasses and people that ain't got no damn sense and stuff like that. So that's what I try to, when it comes to foundational Black American.
I'll say this, Kamal. I think that the more prominent voices within the FBA space, I'll just call it a space, within the FBA space, they should do a better job at denouncing some of this hateful rhetoric that the people on the lower end of the FBA totem pole are spewing here on the internet, and they should do a better job at controlling the narrative. If it's not about Black division here in the country or across the diaspora, then the more prominent voices within the FBA space should step up and make that be known and denounce the more hateful section of FBA and let them know, hey, we're not about that. That's not the message. That's not the movement. That's not the lineage. If they did that, maybe I'll put my ear to it. But per the definition, I am a part of the lineage, but I can't align myself with that sort of hateful, divisive rhetoric when I know that the strength here in this country is through the political system, and the only strength that we have is organizing and unifying people of color in the United States so we can bolster our voting bloc.
I feel you, bro. But that's why I put it where, forget the prominent voices. I'm gonna be one of the voices to say this and teach this. You feel me? Because Castle, I've been on your lives, bro. You feel me? A lot of things you be saying I'll be agreeing with. You feel me? But I remember we had the panel the one day and shit got heated and stuff like that. But that's why I was trying to say it's a lineage, and it's like nobody really wants their lineage disrespected in a sense. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I keep saying that me as a person, I'm going to explain it as much as I can, that this is a lineage, and within any lineage, Puerto Ricans, Irish, European motherfuckers, you got people that's smart, know how to hold a conversation, got some sense, trying to find solutions. Then you got dumb motherfuckers that's trying to bring chaos to shit, and that's be on the horse. So that's what I try to educate on when it comes to my lineage and stuff like that, if that makes sense.
I agree, Kamal, and I'll land it here, Nora, so y'all can move to the next question. I think that Black Americans are special, man. I think that Black Americans are exceptional. I'm talking about Black people from within the United States of America. I think what we've been able to accomplish here in this country over the past 160 years has been supernatural. I think Black American culture is something that we've given the world, and I can't quite explain how we've been able to overcome here in this country and be able to provide that to the world. But I'm also of the mindset that we cannot separate ourselves from Black people outside of our borders. It absolutely makes us stronger to attach ourselves at the hip with Black people from the Caribbean islands and Black people from Africa itself. I don't see how we make ourselves stronger by chopping us up. Like I said, per the definition of it, I would be FBA. And I understand that Black people in this country have achieved great things. And I don't think that Black people from within the United States of America should have to share the success or the culture that we've been able to create for the rest of the world. We should be celebrated for giving the world that, but that don't mean that we have to exclude Black people from other places from being a part of it.
All right, for sure.
And see, this is how the conversation should have went 2 weeks ago, but that's okay because we're here now. Nevertheless, I can't believe you guys agreed on a lot of points. So we're pulling the chair closer. But Doc has joined. Thank you, Doc, for joining at the last minute because Gray lost his power. Doc, I'm going to have you react to the next clip. Okay, we're going to move on and we're going to switch gears and we're going to switch to a clip with Charlemagne the God and Stephen A. Smith talking about Kamala Harris. I'm going to have Enzo Skeptic and Doc respond to that one, and then we'll get back into the FBA topics or the diaspora topics.
Broken, and she wants to take a step back from the system. Her
Done.
whole career has been the system. I just don't see.
It made no sense.
Yeah, her whole career has been the system. I just don't see how now, she's going to take a step back away from the system. But I do think that, her mentality of wanting to go out there and saying, I want to be more of a public servant and actually, be on the ground, meeting people, shaking their hands, looking them in the eyes, talking to them. I think that will have more of an impact than people think. I saw people saying that, she wouldn't make a good surrogate because, she's unpopular, and I'm putting unpopular
I disagree
in air
with that.
quotes. Yeah, I mean, she got the second most votes of any Democratic nominee in a presidential election ever. Now, I don't know, what that personally means, especially when the first one was Joe Biden. But if you got that many people who went out there and voted for you, then she clearly has some type of cachet that she probably could use to help other individuals win elections.
Right.
I don't know what happens for her in 2028 as far as the Democratic primary and things like that. Because I think where her biggest opposition will come from, Stephen.
What? Where?
The Democratic Party.
Yep.
Because you got so many people in the Democratic Party who didn't want her when she ran for the 107 days. Do you think they're going to want her in 2028?
Right. Which is the latest reason why I don't think she'd have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. I'm not saying that she couldn't be a surrogate, go out there and campaign, give speeches, assist, but she can't be the candidate. And now, again, we got to remind her she couldn't make it to Iowa in 2020, and in 2024 she bypassed the primaries. We all know that. In part, obviously, Joe Biden had everything to do with that because he didn't step away as early as he should have, and we get that part. But in the end, the popularity was a question mark. And just like she went on The View, and she said when Sonny Austin asked her, is there anything that you would do differently? And she said, no, I can't think of any. This was another example when they asked her the other day about her stepping away, and she's like, I want to step back from it. The system is broken. You're a career politician. You've been there practically all your life. You've been an attorney, a state attorney general. You've been a prosecutor. You've been a senator. You've been a vice president. My God, you've been a part of it. And now you're saying it's broken. That means you couldn't do but so much to fix it when you was in it. So how are we going to believe
the system was
that
broken
that's
long
do that now? It's long before.
Yeah, the system was broken long before Donald Trump,
That's right.
got into office.
Oh man, lots to say. Jesus Christ. Doc, I'm gonna let you go first. Thank you for coming again. What do you think about Kamala? Does she stand a chance? What's her future?
Nah, I don't think she stands a chance. I think it was always a question of her popularity. I think the fact that she got so many votes is just a testament to how split people are down the middle on staying their party line. People who are Democrats are voting Democrats, and people who are Republicans are voting Republicans. I think she'll have to go out there and show people in the Democratic Party why she's their best candidate. And I don't know that she's not their best candidate. I just don't think that that's been shown evident as far as her going up and beating those other candidates in a primary. So I think part of that probably actually might be intimidating her at the moment, knowing that she lost the election and people would come back and probably not believe in her as strongly. Donald Trump lost, but he has like a cult-like following who believes, like, you know what I mean, he could walk on water. So she doesn't have that same belief in her. So I think him coming back and winning isn't like a testament to anybody being able to do it. I think that was something he was unique at doing because of the following he's commanded. I don't think the Democratic Party can't win. I just don't know if she'll be the candidate.
Yeah. Enzo, does she stand any chance?
She doesn't stand a snowball chance in hell. There's no way. I'm just being real about it. We're talking about the same woman who didn't even capture 1% of the vote in 2020, had 100 days to prepare, and the only reason she got as many votes as she did is because it was Donald Trump. If it was anybody else, I guarantee the Republican numbers would have been higher. I'm just being completely blunt honest. She had no real plan. 6 out of her 10 campaign promises she ran on were ripped right out of Joe Biden's playbook from 2020 that he didn't accomplish. And the sad thing is, I say the Democratic Party failed her, that she didn't fail them. They threw her into the spotlight and said,
True.
figure it out. So maybe if she had more time to actually put a campaign together, I could see that. But after the failure of the 24 election and the continued failure of the Democratic Party as a whole, again, like I said the other night, how they're polling between anywhere, depends where you look, 8 to 30% as a party, not just a single person. I don't think the Democrats have any chance. And honestly, after what I've been seeing recently, coming from the Democratic Party, I wish Democratic Party just burns to the ground at this point and a new party forms. Being completely honest.
Well, I do think we need more than two parties, but nevertheless, Skeptic, what's your thoughts? Do you think they're going to put her out again? You think she has a chance? Who do you think is going to be the front runner?
I think that my main issue with like the conversations that Democrats have a lot of the time tend to be because we have a different of opinion. We have diversity of thought. And the thing that Republicans don't do, or MAGA, ultra conservatives, Republicans, the thing that they don't do is question things. They have a man that was never a district attorney, that was never the, what is it, general? What do you call that? Whatever general she was for California, the senator. This man was a reality TV star that was included in the E-Files, that was a billionaire playboy whose wife was nude on a magazine, and they made him president. But they want to sit here and tear down a woman who had 107 days to run and say she's not qualified. Like, think about this. The fact that we're having this conversation while this man is currently the president of the United States is wild, to then sit down and question what are her qualifications. But it gives you a good view into what America is. This is literally what America is. White men make up 29% of the population, yet they hold 60% of power positions in America. Do not tell me that they're qualified, because look at Pete Hegseth. He has had 2 leaks where he has actually put out information that was actual like information that could have put our military men in harm's way, and still they call him qualified. They don't question him. But had he been a woman, a black or brown woman, they would have done away with her. But because it's a white man, we just stopped talking about it after a week. Like, I don't want to have a conversation about whether or not VP Harris is qualified until I look at the qualifications of Donald J. Trump. Like, until I look at how his wife got here and lied and took a Einstein visa and then came here to model, until we can talk about the reality of what America is, like, that conversation to me doesn't even matter, because the man that's in office right now is not qualified.
Ooh. Man, Skeptic always puts that fire out. Jesus. All right. We're going to go to the next topic. For everyone watching, we are going to go back to a diaspora topic, and calm down. And just to be clear, Enzo and Skeptic, they're here to support. We need allies in the diaspora. Okay? So calm down. All right. Anyways, we're going to play the next topic. I think Kamal and Castle might agree on, well, they're going to disagree with what this lady's saying. Possibly. Let me play it.
Did not start in America. The fight for black freedom began long before the civil rights movement in the USA. Even though they did do a lot, but it is important. I'm just going to list through some of the most important ones. So first, we start off with my country, Jamaica. Now, Jamaica actually influenced key figures in the American civil rights movement, such as Malcolm X. Now, if you know Malcolm X, he wanted Pan-Africanism, and it is said he was influenced by Marcus Garvey, who's actually from my area in Jamaica. And his ideology and his existence is long before Malcolm X. Malcolm X's father, Earl Little, was a very passionate follower of Marcus Garvey. And also his mother is Caribbean, and she also shared those views with him, Malcolm X. Now, long before slavery ended in Africa, they actually resisted the colonizer. So the Ashanti Empire, from Ghana, they resisted the British Empire. Emperor Menelik II of Ethiopia, he fought against the Italians because the Italians did try to colonize Ethiopia, and he won that in the battle of Adwa in 1896. Now later on, don't you forget me, I already talked about the Jamaican slave revolt. The Haitians are legendary, the Caribbeans are legendary in that. In Zimbabwe, my favorite, who actually achieved liberation with some consequences because of that. So their leader also believed in Pan-Africanism, and they took up arms in like the 1960s due to the white rule called Rhodesia, where there was 5% of whites settled a colony, and that colony was like, they were the minority, but then they controlled the land, the economy, things like that. So they took up arms, and now they got their independence. But then, you know, the leader then slightly became a dictator only because he started to give the land to his like friends and stuff like that, only because he owed them back. That is actually a long story which I want to go into as well. Then you had South Africa, which the apartheid system started in 1940s, way before, you know, like big main civil rights movements in America. In the UK, there was the British Black Panthers, and then there was Notting Hill riots, which was about, you know, racism as well, as there is a lot of racism inside, you know, UK, but it is hidden. Then you had in India, people were rebelling against the caste system, and it's called the Dalit movement, and this is from the 1920s onwards. In the UK, in 1919, there was also revolt, or like race riot against racial discrimination due to, you know, Caribbean soldiers, what they faced. You had in Senegal, they resisted French colonialism, like Blaise Diagne. Sorry man, I'm saying the name wrong. He fought for African rights before World War II. The author of Black Skin, White Mask was from Martinique, and he also was with like Algeria, and he also campaigned for political liberation. Now there is so many to go over. However, what this is trying to just show you is that there can't be any divide. Like, we're all one people, bro. We must all respect our individual traditions. For example, I am Jamaican. I like that I'm Jamaican. My ancestors, they were African. My national hero, Nanny of the Maroons, she's from West Africa. But we have made a culture of our own. But there's a little bit of xenophobia sometimes going on. There can't be, because we are all one people.
Oh man, she said a whole lot. Kamal, you agree with her? What's your disagreements?
Man, this be my fucking thing. Why don't you just teach the Jamaican revolts and shit without putting in the civil rights shit? Like, I just don't be understand that. She could have taught all that and been like, look, this is what we did in Jamaica. We did this, you feel me? Hit a bomba clot in there, some shit like that, you feel me? Like, and you don't have it. It feels like she's saying we divisive, and then try to put, like, she's saying Malcolm X is from here, grandparents from here, and da-da-da. No, people see him as a foundational Black American. Can we stop the cap? Can we stop the cap? And it felt divisive. As soon as she said, yeah, the civil rights was cool and all, but look what we did back then over here in Jamaica. That's divisive. Why are you comparing? Just be like, look what we did over here, y'all. You feel me? We did this. And let's be real. Marcus Garvey didn't get shit popping until he came to the States. He went back to Jamaica and was like, man, fuck this. I'm moving to Europe. These motherfuckers don't want me here anyway. So that's the thing, is like, bro, just teach y'all history, right? And y'all revolts and shit, and stop trying to like overshadow what the fuck we did in the States as Black Americans. I don't get it. It's like, that's all. We wouldn't even be talking about this right now. She didn't say that little disclaimer. Like, yeah, the civil rights and all, that's what they did, but stuff was happening back then in Jamaica. I mean, in the States too, we was having slave revolts. Y'all think every slave was just laying down and doing nothing? No, we was whooping Whitey's ass. Get the hell out of here at that bull jive. That's just my only thing. That's where I felt it was divisive. Everything she was saying, you know what I mean? Except for the Malcolm X part, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. You feel me? But all the other stuff where she was talking about, we had these revolts here, this person here did this in Jamaica, that's cool. You don't have to drag us in it to tell y'all history. That's just how I feel about it.
Doc, what's your thoughts? Do you think what she said was divisive, or do you agree with what she said?
Nah, I think what she said was divisive. And a part of the problem of it being divisive is just her view at trying to take it comes off as if she wants to take credit for the civil rights movement, and she wants to act like it started here. She's name dropping Marcus Garvey and slave revolts, like Nat Turner didn't go out here and fight for his freedom, and You know, it was guys who brought to America in chains in America. Their family lived in chains in America all the way up until the day they died. And they gave their life fighting for their freedom. And when you compare it, though I think all of it, you know, it's a good thing to see all black people fight for freedom. I mean, it's an amazing thing in every country to see black people all wanting to be free and fight for freedom. It's not always the same struggle. Like I don't completely understand and connect myself with the struggles of countries like Ghana when they were fighting for their freedom from the British and stuff like that. I just don't completely understand it because it's a different thing for me. Like, you know, I grew up in South Georgia, so I understand that. You know, my grandma used to look through the window and go to the back of the store to buy whatever it is she wanted to buy. I can understand that. That's something different for me. So it just comes off a divisive in that manner. Like she doesn't have to compare them.
Casso, what's your thoughts?
Well, I won't call it divisive. I'll say this: we can't write out accomplishments, and we can't write out contributions that Black people outside of the diaspora made to the Black American civil rights movement. We talk about Marcus Garvey, and we know that Garveyism impacted Dr. King. He said it himself; it impacted him. And we can talk about Malcolm X, but a man who people never seem to speak about, a Jamaican man, is Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte was one of the most substantial financial backers of the American civil rights movement, and nothing in this country moves without money. You need the money, and that was Harry Belafonte. Not only was Barry Belafonte a prominent part of fundraising for the American civil rights movement, he did wonders for the image of Black Americans on the world stage. You got to understand that these movements came about during a time in which people looked at Black American men as being savage-like, as being brute figures, as being tap dancing, monkey-looking entertainers. And for us to have a man like Harry Belafonte out front, it shows some sort of Black prominence. It showed the world Black excellence, and it showed the world Black prestige. And we can't write men like that out of Black American history. Harry Belafonte was a critical part of Black American history, and he was a man of Jamaican heritage. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to praise him for what his contributions meant to the Black American civil rights movement.
Hey, Casso, though, this my thing. The Jamaicans should be telling us that when we be having these.
I do. Hold on. I do. I've told Kelly this. I told Kelly this because when Kelly told me, I love Kelly, but she's like, oh, well, they're not Black. They're not Black. I'm like, well, Harry Belafonte, he contributed to the civil rights struggle. And so that's why this is what my biggest issue with the whole FBA rhetoric sometimes, Kamal, is the fact that not you, Kamal, not you, but sometimes there are people that say we don't help. They don't help. They fled their country. They did this. But Harry Belafonte wasn't looking back and helping Jamaica. He was helping stuff here. And he was one of the biggest ones. And he went through a lot. And so I do say it. I do talk about it.
All right. Nora, you talk about it. But I'll talk about the other Jamaicans when we have the discussions and we talk about the diaspora and stuff. I don't hear that shit at all. I don't hear Casso actually talked about it. I don't hear people from Jamaican heritage when we start talking about. They bring up Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X every time.
Oh, I bring up Harry Belafonte. You can ask Kelly. I bring him up. I'm very proud of him. You know why I'm proud of him? He didn't do it. He didn't have to go like breaking down doors and attacking white people. Like for me, I understand that some white people have done a lot of bad things. I'm not saying that, but we need allies in this fight. And I keep saying that. And also with the whole fight for reparations, I'm going to keep saying it. You guys need allies. And I understand. But you want to know something? I think the most divisive voices are the loudest. And that's the problem. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're saying we don't do it, but we do talk about it. But you hearing about Marcus Garvey and them because they're the divisive ones in the movement. Harry Belafonte was about unity. He was not about divisiveness. He was about working with all people of everywhere to get ahead. And also about money. He was about giving money.
Yeah, but see, my problem with it is why the fuck am I learning about it or hearing about it right now when there's been hella diaspora war discussions and I have to learn this shit through a Black American? You feel what I'm saying? That's my thing. Is like there's people from Jamaican heritage that could have been teaching us this to be like, oh, this is one of the allies that helped out and blah blah blah. But instead, we don't hear that shit. We hear, yeah, Malcolm X was this and that, and it's like, all right, that's just. I think that's some of the problems that I be having.
Look,
because
Kamal, you can't sell me short. I don't think a lot of them people as good as me, man. You got to give me some credit,
all
Kamal. Yeah, like, I don't. Come on now.
I ain't trying to sell you short, brother. But
Yeah,
but this is my thing though. If it's within their lineage, you would think they would bring that up to educate us and be like, this is a person of Jamaican descent, a Jamaican lineage that helped out in a Black American movement. Why am I hearing it through? You know what I mean? I ain't selling you short,
that's
bro.
one of their strongest arguments because he's a man who helped finance the movement, and we know what money means here in America. And I agree with you. Jamaican people should be having those conversations if they're in a part of these diaspora wars. Like we help finance the move. That's a stronger standpoint than trying to take credit from Black people in terms of.
So if we were to say that, they would say we're taking over the movement. It's the same conversation with the hip hop conversation. A lot of Jamaicans contributed to the foundation start of hip hop in New York City, but no, it's an attack if we say that. So I think the reason why.
I think it would be different because look at basketball. We know that the owners and that the investors, they finance what's able to be accomplished. But when the players go out there and the coaches go out there and they perform and they get a championship, they get credit for that. They get remembered for that. We don't remember the men who own the team or the men who paid the staff. That's not someone who's remembered in history. They're a pivotal part of it. But at the end of the day, the people who put down the work and play the game, they get the credit. They get to keep the trophy at their house. And that's what I think Black Americans deserve. We deserve to keep the trophy at our house.
Oh man, another point. If you guys agree.
Hey, but Nora, keep doing that though. You feel me? Keep.
I mean, but King said it. Don't talk. You know why I don't talk? I don't like drama. I don't like divisiveness. I don't like negativity because I know what was taught at my household. All that divisiveness was not taught to. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not going to discredit when you guys are saying that you guys have had those experiences. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I will remind people. In fact, I'm going to do a TikTok about Harry Belafonte. How about that? We'll talk about it.
And the thing that's problematic with King's Court Network, appreciate you for tuning in, Barbara, is that you're saying that why would we? It's not taken well. That's the point. You're supposed to have these tough conversations. That's the whole point. Okay?
Oh no, come on. Sometimes they go a little bit too tough.
Who cares about who take it? Because one person might take it not well, but then you got another person that be like, damn, that information actually helping me out, construct, my mindset on certain things. So that'd be the thing, man. We can't be shying away from like conversations and learning shit and gaining knowledge to help us out as a goddamn people. You feel me? So that's just how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but all right, we're gonna switch to the next topic. I gotta call some people to the front. I feel like this is a play on the FBA lineage argument. I'm gonna play the clip and I'll give my reaction. I'll let you guys speak. And I'm gonna probably be on your side with this, Kamal. We probably will feel the same way. I'm gonna play the clip.
Gabonese citizen, mama.
Hold on.
Mama.
Let me get my passport.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cadence, did you become an African citizen today? Gabonese citizen.
Show me the boomerang, what it looks like.
Wow.
The whole family.
The whole family.
Oh, yes.
Africans. Ladies and gentlemen.
History in Africa, and we could see more people of African descent do the same. The R&B singer from Georgia in America has become a citizen in Benin, a small country in West Africa. It's because of the country's new law that grants citizenship to descendants of enslaved people during the transatlantic slave trade. In the early 1500s, millions of African people were forcibly taken from their homes by traders from European nations and the USA to work as slaves across the US, Brazil, and the Caribbean. For centuries, many of the descendants who live in America have not visited what's often affectionately held as the homeland, Africa. But now African governments want to change this, including Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Gambia. They've all promoted schemes to open the doors. All you need is a DNA test to prove it. That's what Sierra did. So, could this historic moment become more commonplace for many in the African and Caribbean diaspora?
This is the only one I'm gonna comment on because I really don't like this. And this is gonna be where y'all gonna be shocked with what I'm about to say. I think this is a play for white tea supremacists to get rid of foundational Black people. Go back to Africa. Here you go back. I don't support it. I don't think you guys should go back and get any citizenship because this is your country. Why would you go there? For what? Number one. Number two, listening to that clip, the way they say it happened when the slave ships were brought here, it was like, I'm sorry, this is not the history. It was like white tea people went and took them from their homes. That's not the case. When you learn the real history, people were sold. They were either at war and they would take the people and then sell them or trade them for whatever. And so I don't even like the story. You get what I'm saying in the clip on how they're promoting it. But that's just me. Kamal, I'll let you go first.
Man, if y'all notice, it's always fucking celebrities.
Yeah.
It's either an athlete, a celebrity that get granted these damn citizenship. No, I want to see somebody that's like, you feel me, that I ain't never seen in my goddamn life. That ain't a celebrity that has enough money to get a damn citizenship. And I want to see that. Also, and the same thing, it's like, all right, the citizenship shit is all cool, but fuck that. We trying to get to economics, man. What business can we do over there? Like, that's what I want to know. I don't give a rat's ass. Ciara got a goddamn citizenship, or any other celebrity that's getting citizenships and stuff. What type of business they doing over there with them that can help us out if we do business with the people over there? God damn. It feel like some symbolic gesture ass shit, to be honest. And I'm tired of that symbolic shit. No, okay, yeah, Ludacris, you feel me? You got a citizenship, cool. You know, CR citizenship and benign, cool. What business y'all doing over there? What shit? What stuff is y'all doing over there that can help us out economically? Or tell us the pitfalls of shit that's happening over there. Because let's be real, some bad business is probably going over there too. You feel what I'm saying? So the symbolic shit, I don't want to see none of that. They've been doing that for a minute, trying to celebrities and all types of shit. That's just an insult. I don't know about y'all, but that's an insult to me and my lineage that y'all think we the like-minded as celebrities and artists and fucking athletes and stuff. That's just an insult.
We're not just like-minded that you're gonna just go do because Sierra went over there. You're gonna go jump and go do it to go want to be like them, like keep up with them.
Yeah. That shit is bullshit, man.
Doc, you gonna go get your citizenship?
Nah, I probably wouldn't go get my citizenship. If that's what they want to do, that's amazing. I mean, you got the money, go and do it. That's great. I am a very proud American. I fought for America. I bled for America. My brothers died for America. If you go to North Korea and you get kidnapped, you ain't gonna tell nobody you a citizen of Ghana. Mm-hmm. You ain't gonna tell nobody Sierra Leone gave you dual citizenship. If you go anywhere in this world and you have a problem and you in another country, the best thing you can do is pull out an American passport and tell them you are from America. And that's just a fact. Anywhere you go in this world, the best thing you can do is tell them you're from America. You know, so I won't be going to get it. I probably couldn't afford it.
Yeah, how much y'all think that shit costs? Like $100K?
Nah, they probably get it to them off the love. It's gonna cost you.
That's my price.
They get into them on the love. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, on love. Castle, what's your thoughts? You running to get your citizenship?
Oh, you muted,
You're
bro.
muted, dear.
All right, I'm back. I agree with it. I would do it. I think it's a fantastic idea. Why wouldn't we familiarize ourselves with Africans and more, being Black Americans? I'll say this. I don't think that white people in America will ever give Black people reparations. Not ever. I don't think that Democrats will ever give us reparations. And I don't think that Republicans will ever give us reparations. I think that if we do receive any sort of reparations, it'll come from Africa. And we have history to support that and show us that in 1996, Libya tried to send $1 billion to Black Americans, and they tried to send it to Farrakhan so they could make sure that it got to the Black Americans. So when I hear FBA make statements like Africans are disconnected from us and they've never tried to do anything for us, you guys can look it up yourself. Libya tried to send $1 billion to Black Americans. I understand that Africans are going to run the future of the world will fall into the hands of the Africans, and they'll run the financial system in the entire world. I want to share this with you guys. The average age of white people in America is 45 years old. The average age of Hispanic Americans is 29 years old. Average age of Black Americans is 34 years old. The average age of Africans is 18 years old. So if everybody stopped having babies right now, Africans will have the entire world to themselves for 12 years. The writing is on the wall. Once they remove imperialism from Africa and African leaders take control or regain control of resources in Africa, they're going to bring about the Bank of Africa and all of these other nations, Europe, Asia, America as well. They're going to have to go to Africa and play on fair terms. At that point, the African people will be able to ask these European leaders and American leaders, how are you treating Black people in your country? If you want to do this trade deal with us, we need to know how you're treating our people over there. And if they can do that, then the whole pendulum swings in favor of Black people in the world. Nobody else tried to give Black Americans reparations for anything. Libya tried to send $1 billion to Black Americans, and the federal government denied it. So the writing is on the wall. Africans are willing to give us what white American leaders are not willing to give us, and we need to have a conversation with them, and we need to move ourselves closer to Africans.
Hey, Casso, what's stopping Libya right now from doing? And when was that they tried to get?
They attempted in 1996. This Libya is not the Libya of 1996 under Gaddafi's leadership. This is the entirely different Libya.
Entirely different. He's telling the truth. I just looked it up.
Okay.
What's stopping America from taking it?
From taking what?
Anything.
The reparations? They denied it.
No, what's taking the things that Africa can take back and take control of? What's stopping Europe? What's stopping China? What's stopping anybody from taking it from Africa?
As the money moves white people, man, especially prominent white people. The white people at the middle and the white people at the bottom are sheep. They do what they're told, and no disrespect to Enzo on the panel, but they do what they're told. When prominent white men tell middle class and poor white men to shut the fuck up and sit down, excuse my language, they shut the fuck up and they sit down. So when these prominent white men have to go and deal with the Africans on fair terms, and the Africans ask these European men and American men, how are you treating Black people in your country? And we're going to check in to see how you're treating the Black people in your country. If you want this trade deal with us, you got to treat our people different. You know what the rich men are going to do? Rich white men are going to leave Africa, go back to Europe, come to America, and they're going to tell the poor and middle class white men to shut the fuck up and sit down so they can make their money. And the poor and middle class white men will shut the fuck up and sit down.
What if they realize that they don't have an American central banking system like Iraq, and they say Africa's trying to build weapons of mass destruction, and they go in there and they take everything over?
It won't matter. Africa has united with Russia, and they're learning to militarize themselves.
Russia rolled out the weakest military I ever seen when they were fighting Ukraine. We would probably wipe out Russia in a matter of 6 months.
It's not about the Russian military. They're training the Africans. They're training the Africans. They're training the Africans to militarize themselves. They're getting training from the Russians. They're bringing.
I don't think Russia has a good military to train. So if you get trained by bad training, Russia had 10 of their generals shot and killed in the Ukrainian war in basically a backyard feud. You never heard of a general from America having a scuff on his uniform, because we don't do that. That's why our military is so strong. That's why I think it's the difference. When Russia came out, they pulled out these old missile carriers and all of this. America will wipe them out.
Troops don't matter right now. They're just using old equipment before they can't use it any longer. Warfare of the future will be drones. It'll be AI technology. And when it all comes down to it, it'll be a bluff game of who will let go of nuke before the other person let go of their nuke. And I think that's going to have the whole world at a standstill. Africans will rise to prominence and they will control this world. Once Africa is able to open a Bank of Africa, everything changes. At that point, the empire will begin to fall. I don't think America ever crumbles, but I think the empire will eventually fall once the Bank of Africa opens.
Can I add a point that has to do with the economy?
So you really think Israel's gonna allow that? Like, come on now.
I do.
Like, let's be real. That's
I'm
never
a,
gonna happen.
I'm
This
a
is
believer
about
in
world
history.
trade.
I'm a believer in people. I'm a believer in good. It doesn't matter how heinous things have been throughout the history of the world. Ultimately, when good will prevail. So I think what we're experiencing with the Israeli people, at some point they'll falter, and the Middle East to cave in on them. As soon as America steps back from the Middle East, it could get dramatically different for the people causing the trouble in the Middle East.
I wanted to make this point to what Casa was saying, because when you look at world trade and you look at the way that world trade has basically been ran by the US, that has been basically like, bullied everyone into trading in a certain way, which is literally what this president is doing. You're seeing the uprise of BRICS, and Africa is one of the countries, Brazil is one of the countries, Russia is one of the countries, China is one of the countries that is in BRICS, and BRICS is not trading unilaterally the way that the US has been doing. The US has this imperial way of isolating you if they don't like the politics that you're doing, the way they did to Cuba. Like, who says that it is your right to say you cannot trade with this country because we don't agree with their political system, the way that they're running, their politics? Like, that is what the US has done. And you see this uprise of BRICS, and Africa is part of BRICS. Brazil is part of BRICS. China is part of BRICS. Russia is part of BRICS. So not just the military aspect of it, but from a world trade perspective, the US is handling the way that the world is trading in a very archaic way. Like they're moving towards a democratic way of trading, a multilateral way of trading, and the US wants to continue to hold this, imperialistic way of forcing countries to trade, aka tariffs. Just wanted to throw that in there.
All right.
Enzo, we talked about like world trade things. What's your thoughts on it? I'm not trying to have you talk on the diaspora things, but what do you think about Africa being the world power and Russia helping?
I would like to see Africa rise up, actually, to be honest with you, and actually be like a world power. The world powers, as in Africa as a whole, all the African countries. I will say that. Russia helping them, I don't really see Russia helping much. I'm going to agree with Doc again with the military and everything like that. You're getting training from Russia. No, you're better off China training you. I will say that, and probably better economically too with China. So
Why do you think that,
sure.
Enzo? Why do you think that? If I could ask you that, why do you think that Russia's not?
Which one?
Us trying to discredit the might of the Russian military. We have to be clear about something. Russia saved the world in World War II, not the United States, especially not in the European, not in the European conflict. The Red Army is what took Europe. Yeah. America arrived to Europe late, and they raced the Red Army to Berlin to plant the flag. If history reminds us properly, the American conflict took place in the Pacific theater, down in the Pacific Islands. So we didn't do much in terms of the European conflict. That was all done by the Russian army and the Red Army. Had the Russian army not been betrayed by German leaders, and they had continued to be aligned with Germany, the world would be entirely different now. And I don't think most of us would be free, honestly.
No, I agree with you on the aspect of World War II. Yeah, America didn't do shit in the European front whatsoever. I will agree with that. When it comes down to modern day Russia and the Russian Federation now, I look at the country militarily based off of everything that they have now. Either is stolen off of American technology and it's half as best as what America has. For example, the Su-57 Felon is a knockoff version of the F-22. The Tu-160 is a knockoff version of the B-1, and it's heads and shoulders. The Americans are way better than what they have all at the end of the day. When it comes down to the Russian conflict with Ukraine, they're still using Soviet era as well as World War II era technology to fight that war when that war first started. Yeah, they weren't sending their best out there. They're sending their Spetsnaz operatives with the best technology they had. They were sending conscripts with body armor with cardboard in it. Because it's not because they don't have the technology, it's they have it in such small quantities. And this is Russia's MO. The only reason the Germans didn't push into Moscow in the 40s is because Russia had the manpower and they just threw bodies at the front line, and that's what held up the Germans in the winter and why they froze. Is
Right.
because they just had the manpower. Germany had the technology, Russia had the manpower. That's the
And so
only thing Russia has on anybody is manpower.
can we bring it back a bit? The training, they're being trained by the Russian military. They have forged a new economic alliance with China, and that's going to protect them on the money side of things. There's a trade deal in place between China and every country in Africa. They can import goods from Africa to China with a 0% tariff. So America's not going to come knocking at the door of the African nations the way they would have done in the past, because at the end of the day, we depend on China for our economy to thrive and continue to move forward. So now the Africans are being smart. They went and aligned themselves with the country that has the economic ability to collapse America if they chose to, not only through the trade deals that we have in place, but through the bonds that the Chinese people hold as well. They could call in bonds in the middle of the night and collapse the American economy if they wanted to do that to Chinese people. So I think the African leaders have played this fantastic. They get the military training, and then they get the economic support from the Chinese people. And all Americans can do is sit back and watch as China grows and prospers. I mean, Africa grows and prospers.
So you're teaching me something right now. I didn't know about the China side of it with Africa whatsoever. That's something I completely just heard just now. I did not know that. So thank you for even sharing that with me. First off, if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, I could see actually something working with there. And yet China is our biggest downfall. China pulls away from us, we're screwed. And China's screwed for a little bit too. We import, I think it's what, $300 billion worth of product a year from China, pretty sure. Yeah, that would collapse the United States economy. But then again, it would collapse the Chinese economy at the same time too. So it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day. It's gonna hurt worse for us 100%, but it's gonna hurt China in the long run too.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Casso, should the African people really trust doing business with China like that? Since
they should trust them, because they're not giving up anything. It's different than when the Dutch and when the French and when America came into Africa, because they wanted control of the resources. The Chinese and the Russians are there in a partnership capacity, and they can be kicked out at any time. We've seen African nations throwing out Chinese contractors who broke the rules or are breaking the rules. I think they're in Africa on different terms, the Chinese and the Russians.
So
Can I add?
Oh, my bad.
Sorry.
So have you seen clips of that? Because I've seen clips where I've seen Asian men in Africa beating the fuck out of Africans right now and stealing their land and buying their land and stuff like that. So have you seen clips of the flip side?
But I mean, I agree, Kamal. I've seen some of those clips as well, but we have to understand that there were Chinese companies operating in Africa under imperial rule, and those aren't the same Chinese companies that a lot of these African countries like Burkina Faso are choosing to use. So a lot of the Chinese folk that are being kicked out of Africa, they are part of the old guard as well. So you'll see that a lot of French military got kicked out of the sub-Sahara region, if I'm not mistaken. But also with them, a lot of Chinese contractors got kicked out as well because they were a part of their faction.
Okay. And then I had another question for you, brother. So the climate that we in now, especially with like the whole Pan-African thing and things in that nature, and you said that we have a better chance of getting reparations from an African like nation, you feel me? What country as of now or in the near future would you think would give us Black Americans cash reparations in the climate that we're living in now?
Honestly, Kamal, I don't know a specific nation. I would definitely pay attention to African nations that are offering Black Americans dual citizenship and free dual citizenship. Those are the nations that you want to go to and have a conversation when Africa rise to what I know Africa will ultimately become. We should start with the countries that in Africa that are offering us dual citizenship.
Okay, and you consider yourself a Pan-Africanist, right?
No, I'm not. I don't believe in Black separatism at all. I don't want to go too far with what I believe on this panel, but I don't believe Black people should divide themselves. I don't think that we can be genetically eradicated. I think that it better suits us to be in close proximity to who we view as being our enemy, because ultimately we can brown them out of existence and they won't have boots on the ground if and when a race war presents itself.
Okay, so you're not a Pan-Africanist. Doc, you're not a Pan-Africanist either, right?
Nah.
Oh, we're gonna have to change the title then, because this shit.
I'm keeping it last because if Gray was here, he would have been a pan. He calls himself a Pan-Africanist.
Yeah, Gray is a Pan-Africanist. Okay, damn.
Why does Gray always miss out? Like it's always the
Well, he took the heat on a panel recently.
he did.
I do have another question then for Castle then, and appreciate you answering these questions, bro. So you said that we have no chance of getting any type of reparations from the United States.
I don't think the Republican Party will ever entertain it. And I think the Democratic Party, and I'm a Democrat, but I think the Democratic Party will keep trying to pass this let's do a study for reparations bullshit that they've been pulling. The writing is on the wall. Libya tried to send Black Americans $1 billion, and that was in 1996. And then that's one nation. Now, what if all African nations came together and tried to send Black Americans $52 billion? How would that look in 2025? I think we have a better chance at getting reparations from what I consider to be our motherland than we do here in this country.
Could we get it from, like, try to fight to get from both, though? Because I feel it's going to be, because you're making it where we should look at the African nations that sold us into captivity, right? But I feel like it might be some pushback, because now we're talking about them fronting the bill instead of the United States government, right? So shouldn't we fight both battles, like chew gum and walk at the same time, or should we just completely just fuck the United States government?
I don't think we get it, Kamal. American capitalism requires racism. American capitalism cannot operate without racism. Now, this is what happened if Black Americans get reparations. Racial tensions will sputter in America, because at this point, white people will be able to have conversations with Black American people, and they'll say, hey, look, we acknowledge the atrocities committed against you. You have received reparations for it. Now, can we get over slavery here in America and some of these Black issues here in America? And you know what Black Americans will say in return? Yes, we can get over these things because you have given us reparations. And at that point, racial tension between Black people and white people in America, it'll get far, far better than what it is now. And that's too risky, because at that point, all of us can wake up and realize what's going on above us in terms of classism. And I don't think rich white men are going to allow that.
So do you think that
Casso, wait. I don't agree with that. I feel like if foundational Black people got reparations in this country, I think not all whites, Enzo, I'm sorry you're here, I have to say it.
I'm not white, you know this.
Some would rise up and be so mad. I don't think it would get better. I think it would get worse.
They're going to be jealous, but it's not what white people would do. It's the temperament of Black people. The conversation would be different.
I understand.
After Black Americans got reparations, because white people already say it now. They say, hey, get over it, man. It was the past.
Yep.
And we say, no, we're not going to get over it. We don't get over it because we hadn't received reparations yet. Once we receive reparations, and then this white person says, man, get over it. Y'all receive reparations. Most Black people are going to say, damn, you know what? We did receive reparations. Let's get over it. And that'll change the race relations in America, I think.
I think also, like, the temperament will be changed, because also, like, we're seeing other groups get fucking reparations, like, and that's been thrown in our face, and it's kind of a slap in the fucking face, especially when we keep saying the economy ain't shit. You feel me? It's like, we would have boosted the economy if we got cash reparations, because the money will stay in America. I don't give a fuck if we buy Popeye chicken and Cadillacs like they assume we gonna buy, but we know for sure.
I agree. I agree, Kamal. I think we should be paid in cash. If we receive land from the U.S. government, they're going to give us wasteland. They would give us 40 acres of swampland. I guarantee you, the land that they give us, you wouldn't be able to grow a crop on that shit. So I like the money in my hand, and I can buy my own land.
Yeah, are they gonna hit us with eminent domain? I know what y'all know what that is. Y'all know eminent domain is?
Yeah. Where they take the land from certain people, and they say, well, this is going to be government land, and then they reappropriate it and then give it to you guys in lieu. You got what I'm saying? In lieu. I agree. I wouldn't want, if you guys get any reparations, it needs to be cash. And I would fight and support you guys for getting that, because I don't think it should be land. I agree with you.
Can I chime in on this?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Enzo.
No, one thing I will agree with the whole. Thank you, Kelly. Shout out to Kelly for actually opening my mind to everything before. I agree with reparations altogether for everybody because, like Kamal said already too, we've had groups in America that have been paid reparations. The Japanese that were interned in the internment camps during World War II, yeah, they got $20,000, but still, that's something. The indigenous people for what we did to them and taking their land from them, the Trail of Tears, all of that, they got compensated for all of that. Even Holocaust survivors, come on, and this is not even what 400 years worth of suffering and everything that you guys have gone through. No, like there should be, regardless if it's the Republican Party, Democratic Party, Independent Party, Blue Party, Red Party, Purple Party. No, there should be reparations paid. 100%. I will agree with that all day long, and I will fight for that and say that myself. I don't
Enzo,
agree with that.
Enzo, briefly, can
What's
I
up?
share this with the people who follow Enzo in here who don't think black people deserve reparations? You got to understand, you folk may not know what the Homestead Act is. The Homestead Act is when 1.6 million families in this country, almost all were white families. This began in 1862. They received 160 acres of free land for absolutely nothing. That's 275 million acres of land. 10% of the livable land mass in America was given to white people who didn't do anything to earn it. Now, it don't stop there. During westward expansion, the railroad tycoons got another 200 million acres from the U.S. government. White people in the chat who are upset about reparations. They turned around and only leased that land to white settlers during westward expansion. The country collapsed during the Great Depression. The Great Depression lasted for a decade. After that, the United States of America put in the New Deal. The New Deal was welfare for white people in America. It wouldn't be until 1973 until black and brown people in this country got access to welfare. So white people who are angry and upset about the 40 acres that black people want to receive here in this country, remind yourself that poor, unqualified white people who did no work in America got 160 acres of free land, and they were able to start building generational wealth for themselves and their family. Don't count our pockets. We didn't count y'all pockets when you got your 160 acres. All we asking for is 40. I think y'all can be quiet and let us get 40. Y'all got 160.
For real.
And wait, I want to say something real quick. For those of you that were in the chat and saying, I don't know why Enzo's here, I don't know why this person's here. This is why Enzo's here. We need people to hear these conversations. Delana, you should stay. Maybe you'll learn something because Enzo was not for reparations before he joined our podcast. He learned within time. We've had the tough conversations, and this is the first I'm hearing that he's changed his position. This was not planned in any way, shape, or form. So this is why we need people like Enzo and everyone. And I don't agree that we don't need allies, because I do think the fight for reparations is going to come from people uniting and pushing for it. That's my opinion. We don't have to agree, but you can go, Kamal.
Yeah, hey, Delana, any of y'all people, right?
No, I don't know who she is. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, Delana, let me give you a scenario, right? Like, you know, we worked, was on the fields, did the work, you feel me, and shit like that. We were supposed to get paid for the work. It was promised in the goddamn Constitution, all that shit. And it was under us as freedmen, right? That's like, you know, we want our money. We want our shit. That's like the same when you get on your knees and you get to work with a certain thing. Don't you want your fucking money after you done? After you brush your teeth and wipe your face and all that, Delana? Ain't that what you want your money, right? It's the same concept. I'm not knocking what you doing. Just saying.
You're right, Kamal. I mean, if y'all got white people, respectfully, if you're going to stand against black people receiving reparations or free land in America, then you have to justify the U.S. government giving poor white people 160 acres of free land coming out of the antebellum period, a time in which black people did all of the work here in this country. So you have to justify poor white people getting 160 acres in order for you to justify you deny black people 40 acres.
And all this, we weren't even alive then. The thing is this, it's like, God forbid your house burns down, you die tomorrow, and your kids are entitled to the money from that house. It's the same thing. Yeah, we weren't here. I wasn't here. You weren't here. They weren't here. But nevertheless, it was promised to them. They're entitled to what was promised to their ancestors, and it's entitled. It's that simple. That's the best analogy I
she's
can put
being
it.
disingenuous because when we look at generational wealth, we know that house ownership and land ownership are one of the most, they basically can tell you whether or not you're going to be able to accrue generational wealth. So like that number one is very disingenuous. Also the fact that YT Southerners after the North, you know, there was the Great Compromise and they left. The YT Southerners literally had Jim Crow. They had a very long time to oppress and continue to pass on the system. So like either you're just like ignorant or you are disingenuously saying all these things in the chat.
Yeah, Delana, is you saying you're gonna be praying. You not on your knees praying. We know what you're doing. So, but anyway, we ain't not enough.
All right, guys.
I've been waiting for you to go at the chat.
Yes, please report the channel because this is unity and you don't like it. Yes, please, I'm begging you, report it. I could care less. Bye. Like, bye. John, anybody that's being disrespectful at this point, you could put them on a timeout. I'm talking to my mod and let them go. Like, I mean, like it's that simple because this is what and this is why I say if it does happen, they don't want unity in this country because people make money off of the disunity. And you guys know that we talk about it on the channel all the time. But nevertheless, we're going to start with closing thoughts. This was a good conversation, the best one I think we've ever had on this. I really appreciate the team and what we did tonight. I'm going to let Doc go first. He was our guest. He's normally on the Man Cave show on Monday and Wednesday.
Oh man, good discussion. Good topics tonight. Appreciate Castle coming. It's always good to see everybody. Everybody have a great weekend. We need to work on a lot more unity. That was a good discussion. Great night.
Thank you, Doc, for stepping in when our co-founder had power issues. Casso, I am so glad we brought you back. This was really respectful, and I think I will start supporting your lives because I learned a lot from you tonight. Let everybody know where they can find you and your closing thoughts. Sorry.
It's gonna be different on my live. It's gonna be different on my live, but you could come listen. But it's Casso Speak, guys, on YouTube and on TikTok as well. I hadn't posted a YouTube video yet, but I'll post one soon. I think it's important for us as Black people to understand that it better suits us to align ourselves with people who look like us, because this is how we're judged and graded here in America. It's skin first, and then they can get into our language, and then they can get into our individual cultures. But we have to come together if we want to bolster our voting bloc and bring about any true political change here in this country. It's going to require all people of color, specifically Black people, coming together and uniting and being on one page at least once in history. Appreciate it, Nora.
Thank you for coming. And I'm going to have Enzo go next. Enzo, what's your closing thoughts? And thank you for coming.
Yep, thank you guys for having me. It was a great episode, like I always say. Casso, thank you for coming on. Great conversation. I was glad to be a part of this and actually sit back and just learn for once, really, and not really have any opinions on anything. Other than that, everybody have a great weekend.
Skeptic, what's your closing thoughts?
Okay, let me make sure. No, great discussion, and I'm glad that we redid it again. So I appreciate everyone on the panel for coming out, and also I think that conversations need to be had for us to feel the unity. Like Kamal said something that was very interesting. You know, he hadn't heard the Jamaican man that was basically what Casso had said, that was affording all of the economic part of the, to help the civil rights movement. I forgot his name, but I think it's important to have these conversations. Even today, like we had a conversation on a topic that we didn't agree even amongst each other, and I think that in order to kind of change your mind and to expose yourself to a different way of thinking, you have to have the diversity of thought. Like you can't just have the same, everyone just agreeing. You're going to have those disagreements, and it's important to put yourself in a space where people will disagree with you and challenge you on your thoughts. So if you are on either agree with us or disagree with us, I invite you to come to Casso's Live. They're very interesting. And there are not just one topic that gets covered, but multiple topics. FBA is the topic that kind of comes up sometimes. There are conservatives that come up, and then we talk about all kind of things. So you're welcome to come listen in or join up. And he hosts them every day. So unlike me, I had all these days, like he hosts all the time. So just go on TikTok and put Casso Speaks, and I will be on and off joining on there. But I will say those are some of the most constructive lives that I've been to. So I definitely push for you guys to go and visit. That's about it.
Man, Enzo, all because you said you support reparations, they crashing out. Take off the MAGA hat. I'm just kidding.
Enzo's canceled.
Go ahead. Report the channel. We didn't say anything bad, so I don't give a damn. Do what you got to do, bro.
Step away for 1 second.
Huh? Yeah, it's all your fault, Enzo.
I
It's
stepped away
I'm
for
just
1
kidding.
second. I didn't even see what's going on. What's going on in the chat?
Go read it. They crashed it out. They said, "Oh, I'm reporting the channel. I'm reporting the channel." I don't care because we didn't say anything bad. Like, do what you want.
How about
Like,
this? Anybody who disagrees with reparations, self-deport yourself. We don't want you here. Leave.
or
Get
better
out.
yet, go live in the Appalachian Mountains with the little village they're building. That's
Build
what
a
you should.
wall around you guys in the fucking mountains over there. You inbred people. The blue people.
And also, Enzo's not your kind of white tea, so you shouldn't be mad. He's Italian.
No, I'm Italian. I am not white.
Bro, the chat going crazy. Hey, Jim Smith Superman, why is your uncle, your brother, and your father at the same time? I don't know. And this other person, Norm Chesney, yeah, I wasn't judging the Negro, but I'm judging your ass because you having relations with the pet sheep that you got. Anyway, these motherfuckers in the chat, they talk about reporting us because we talking about reparations. Ain't that about a bitch? Anyway, Casso, I
Because the
appreciate
white tea person supports it.
Yeah, as soon as Enzo said, "Yep, I'll report," you, it wasn't that you said you support reparations. It was because the cash part. They were like, "Oh hell no, we gotta get this channel down." Oh no, I'm like, God damn. But anyway, hey Castle, can you put your link to the to your YouTube channel in the private chat, bro? Or you put in the chat because I don't want to click on the wrong one, bro, and sub to the wrong shit. But I appreciate you coming up on here and kicking knowledge. You feel me? You know what I mean? Doc, was good, bro. I think this is the first panel that we ever been on. Appreciate you for tapping in. Gray was our only Pan-Africanist, and the black conservative, I guess he had to go sing some R&B songs because we ain't gonna lie, bro, look like he a 70s R&B group. But yeah, look it. We had a good conversation. You feel me? We not gonna always agree on everything, but we could come to an understanding on some shit. And I'm not gonna lie, I came to an understanding, man. Pan-Africanism is dead, man. Ain't none of us on here agree with Pan-Africanism. God damn, Dr. Umar be disappointed. Shit. Anyway, y'all go check out Castle channel and shit like that on YouTube and on TikTok. Also, I got the new party YouTube channel pinned to the top of my chat. Y'all go sub to the channel and also hit that notification bell so you know when they go live. You feel me? And then on my end, Kamal Johnson Network, y'all go hit the notification bell so you know when I go live, and hit your bird with a sub. This was a really good ass convo, man. For real, I learned some shit. You feel me? And I will say this: at the end of the day, the Jamaican lineage, man, y'all need to be talking about Hella Belafonte a little bit more. Y'all need to be speaking that out instead of trying to convert in our civil rights. Just speak about y'all greatness. We don't need to have all that shit. We know black people around the goddamn world do great things. You feel me? Let's not try to covert some shit. Just talk about your greatness, what you fought about, and this and that, and we'll do it on our end, and we all come together. Unless at the end of the day you on some bullshit and you a Sambo or a Tether, then I can't fuck with it. I'm gonna be honest. You feel me? But yeah, everybody, y'all have a great weekend, except for the honkies that was in the chat. Y'all was getting on my goddamn nerves. As soon as we start talking, we got Enzo saying cash reparations, man. The white folks is like, oh hell no, boy. It ain't going down like that.
Oh my God.
Channel reported
It's like, god damn. And shout out to Buwana.
Mhm.
I saw your little joke in there talking about my reparation to be at McDonald's and some type of card. You know what?
Subway card.
Subway card, you motherfucker. I don't talk about you and your turtle milkshakes. God damn.
Woo. Oh Lord.
Give Kamal the
Yeah.
Metro
So
card.
No, I appreciate the
Jesus
conversation
Christ.
again. I genuinely appreciate the conversation. I'm glad we got to have a conversation come out. It got kind of out of hand last time, and I think it's more
Mhm.
productive for us to actually get some points out than scream over each other. So I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. For real. And hey, dead ass, bro, put some shit on YouTube, bro. Because real talk, I'm more of a person that watch YouTube and TikTok.
Me
Sometimes
too.
TikTok get a little too hectic and just the platform.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, it just kind of be all over the place. So when you
I
put
agree.
shit on YouTube, bro, I'm gonna watch some of your shit, bro.
You should start just making videos of you talking by yourself, Casso. Like not with the TikTok. Like just you by yourself.
Yeah, I might. I only been on TikTok about 5 months now. And Skeptic really got me into the TikTok live thing. I was doing it, then I started co-hosting with Skeptic. It kind of like it's starting to take off a little bit. So I'll be on YouTube soon. It just makes sense. So
Yeah,
I'll
but
be
I
on.
want you by yourself. Like I want you by yourself. Because you by yourself, I think you shine by yourself, not with all the noise from everyone else.
Right. I agree.
All right, guys. So don't judge a book by its cover. We have more in common than we have difference. All you in the chat saying you're going to report us, I don't give a damn. I'm all about unity. I'm not a grifter. I'm not doing this to grift. I'm not doing this to divide. I'm doing this to show that America has more in common than different. Shout out to the new party team. We show that it is possible to have a productive conversation and be different. God bless. Good night and keep it safe.